Hey everybody, what's up? I am Fane, and today I'll be playing Medieval Dynasty. So for anybody that's not very familiar with the game, Medieval Dynasty is a sort of town building sim where you start by building a house, end up recruiting villagers, building more houses for them to live, and then workshops for them to work in. It's a lot like some of those you call them, like those RTS games or city building games, but you're on the ground controlling a single individual instead of being up in the air like a god. This will be the first game in the playthrough, or the first episode of the playthrough, so I'll be playing hopefully several episodes. I don't really have much of an end goal right now, so I'm just going to end up playing and then seeing where I go. If you are interested in the game, I'll be, giving out some tips and advice and things that I've learned. This is not my first time playing through the game, but I will be starting a new game for this playthrough. So we're going to go ahead right here. And then if we go into Customize Game, we can set up some settings for the game. So I'm just going to leave the difficulty at normal. The length of seasons, I'm going to leave that at 3 as well. That means that each season is going to last for 3 days. You actually do want the length of season to be fairly low, because one of the cool aspects of this game is that you're going to eventually be able to have a child who, when you die, this child will take over for you and you'll play them. It's one of the main mechanics of the game, but the child has to reach at least 18 before this can actually happen. So you want the length of season to be fairly low, so that way you can actually progress and actually have a chance of playing as your child. Another reason to keep the length of season pretty low is because you're going to actually start to run out of things. Like in early game, you're going to have a ton of stuff to do, but then in late game, you're going to kind of run out of things to do. I will tweak things in the playthrough to hopefully not let it stagnate, but yeah, you'll be able to control a lot of this. Taxes, I'll leave the same. Buildings, I'm pretty creative, so I'm going to bump that up all the way to 200%. All of this is going to basically stay the same. This will stay the same. Bandits, yes. Poisoning, fast building. We do fast crafting, so that way you're not sitting there too long while you're crafting. You're still going to take a little bit of time to craft, but it's faster this way. And then building, we can leave that as normal. It's really not, it doesn't take a long time. XP gain, we're going to put this at about 500. Same thing for technology. Both of these level up fairly slowly. Technology refers to like the technology that your village is able to use, things that your villagers are able to do, buildings that you're able to build. XP is for your individual character's skills, so the skills that your player has and the things that they can do. That's what this refers to. Dynasty reputation, we're going to bump this all the way up, because in order for you to recruit villagers, you're going to have to do side quests to increase your dynasty reputation. And honestly, the side quests are just repetitive. They can get really boring really fast, and I don't feel like having to do 20 of them to be able to recruit a single villager, especially since I increased the size of how many buildings I can have. I want to be able to have, as many villagers as possible to fill up those buildings. And yeah, we can let items spoil. So we're gonna go ahead and start the game. It's gonna play a cutscene and then we'll be in.
I used to have a simple life. Whatever needed doing round the farm, I'd do it. Being the eldest son, it's tough. But at least we had a living, and our plates were never empty. Then, the war came. I lost everything overnight. The last thing I remember is Father pushing me away, yelling for me to run, to live. At first, I didn't know what to do. Then, I remembered. A story my mother once told me. A story about my uncle, Jordan. He made a modest fortune up north, in a peaceful valley far away from the war. For weeks I held on to that thought, until the valley from my mother's stories. I could see it. This is where I can start a new life.
Alright, and here we are. Let's see. Sensitivity's really high. Let me see if I can lower that a little bit. Total 75. Let's see. Okay, I think this should be pretty good. Maybe I can lower it a little bit more. Shouldn't really need to turn super fast in this game. Alright. That should be pretty good. Okay. So we start the game at this sign over here. And we see Hornica, Gustovia, and Dinica. We're actually going to want to go to Gustovia, which is right here on the map. See our quest markers pointing us over there? That is so we can go and talk to basically the guy who runs the entire valley. So we're going to go talk to him and get started. He's going to kind of teach us some of the basics of the game. So I have lowered the background noise and the music of the game a little bit, because this game is fairly loud. Let me know if it's a little too quiet and I can bump it up for future videos. Alright, and this is the guy we want to talk to. Those eyes. I didn't think I would see them again. One blue as the sky and the other black like a lump of coal. Are you alright? You look like you've seen a ghost. So you aren't one. Good. For a second there, I thought I lost it. Haha. But your eyes. You look just like him. Sorry, you must have mistaken me with someone. I'm new in these parts, just arrived at the valley, actually. My name is Rasimir. I'm Wanda's son, aren't you? Jordan's nephew? What? Did you know my mother? Not really. I knew of her. We didn't ever actually meet. He wanted to keep his family separate. I don't think I understand. You will. Wait. What do you mean by did I know her? Is she well? I hope she is now, wherever that might be. I've lost both my parents in the war. Damn it. This world. I guess it can be as cruel as it is beautiful. I'm sorry, my boy. Nobody should lose their loved ones at such a young age. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about that. Of course, my boy, of course. I apologize. You mentioned my Uncle Jordan. I actually came here looking for him. Oh, Rasimir, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Your Uncle Jordan is no longer with us. He passed away 3 years ago. I'm so sorry. I understand how you must feel. He was a dear friend of mine. So that's it. I'm the only one left. Don't you say that. Hey, look at me. This valley is filled with warm-hearted people who can gladly aid you with whatever you need, and I'm one of them. So what should I do now? You are free to go wherever you like and start a new life. I hereby grant you the permission of the Castellan to build and farm on any unutilized land in the valley. Construct yourself a house and see what comes next for you. You can even build a whole village if you please. There are many travelers passing through, and maybe some of them would like to join your settlement. Just like that, I can take the land free of charge. Well, you'd have to pay taxes to the king annually, but apart from that, you are free to do as you please. As long as you don't break the law, of course, or at least if you don't get caught doing so. That sounds amazing. The valley looks beautiful as well. I think I'll stay here and see what fate has in store for me. I'm glad to hear that. You can find resources all over the land. Grab a few rocks and sticks from the ground and craft yourself a simple axe. With it you can cut down trees and chop them into logs. Then you can create a wooden hammer that will be crucial in the building process. I'm sure you'll get a hang of it. When you build yourself a home, come back to Gustovia and talk to my wife, Dobraniga. She manages the tavern. Ask her to feed you. You must be famished. And then grab some beers for both of us and come back. I'll tell you some stories about Jordan. That sounds like a plan to me. Okay. So, now that we've talked to him, we can go ahead and set up camp somewhere. So, in my other playthroughs, I normally stuck to this southern region, just because I kind of like the mountains. But building in the mountains is very hard, and due to the lack of flat ground. So this time, I'm going to pick a different place. I think I could go here. I could also go here. Maybe along the south, possibly over here. I'll go check out these areas. This should all be kind of flat around there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go check out these areas, and I'm not gonna bother showing the traveling around. Once I find a nice place to set up, I will come back. Okay. So I think I've decided to set up around right here and along this road. So even though it looks like you can go all the way over here, the map actually cuts off about right here. So I'll be kind of here along the very edge of where you can actually get to. I would have liked to be a little bit further, like maybe around here, but you know, can't go past the map. I did find these supplies, so you can actually open these and then get items from them. Plank, some coins, that'll be useful. Some flour, which will be nice when we actually start cooking. Okay, so exactly where do I want to put my house? And since this is just the starting house, it doesn't really matter too much. I'll probably slap it down somewhere around here. It's not entirely flat. You know, there's like this little rise, which I don't think will get in the way of my building too much, because it's mostly flat. So I think I'll be okay. There might be some areas where I just can't put a building, but we'll see. I will do my best to work with this place. So the first thing we want to do is start chopping down some of these trees. So if you open Q, you can open up this little menu, which is your like crafting menu. You can go to handcrafting, and then what we want to do is build this stone axe. So we need 10 sticks and 2 stones, which is actually what the little side quest is telling us to do, or the tutorial quest. So you can pick up sticks here on the ground. That's just telling me I'm getting thirsty. You can also grab a bunch of sticks off of these little trees. So we have enough now. Now we need to find some stones, and this can be a little tricky. Oh, here's one. So as you can see, they're small, they kind of blend in to the ground a little bit. We're gonna need a bunch. So I'm just gonna grab a bunch right now. And then I'm gonna craft this, and then we did level up, so I'll check that really quick. Let's see, go here. And survival knowledge. Probably just gonna go with survival knowledge, so that way I can level up faster going forward, because that's always helpful. And after this, let's see, need to open my inventory, find my stone axe, move that to 1, and how do I put that? Get 1, okay. And now I can start chopping down some trees. So since I'm probably going to put my house right here, I'll just go ahead and chop down these trees that are in the way. There are 3 different types of trees in the game. The maple tree is the best for logs. It will give you 4 logs per tree, which is really nice, as you saw. And then this is a spruce tree, which is the second type. This one only gives you 3 logs. The last type is found mostly towards the west side of the valley, along the left edge, and those trees only give you 2. Let's see. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to build this wooden hammer. And then we're going to equip that. So back into our inventory, grab that, put that on 2. And this will actually allow us to come here. We can sort of set up where we want our house to be. Cannot be on the road, that's the obstacles blocking it. If you use the mouse wheel, you can actually scroll it out a little bit so you can see where you might be able to place it. It says there are obstacles blocking it. That's probably the road. Let me see. No, because you can actually get really close right here. So it might be these stumps. Let me build a shovel. I'll equip the shovel as well. Hopefully, by getting rid of these logs, I'll be able to place the house a little bit better. Oh. Right there. That's good. Swap back. So in order to actually build, you will need a hammer. And since the house is on stilts, it's on stilts because the ground is not super flat. If it was more flat, you would actually have like a stone base to the house, which would require stones to build it. But all we need is logs, because luckily for us, we have stilts as the base. But we do need more logs than what we've currently got, so I'm going to go ahead and chop down some more. And extraction leveled up. So we can go back to skills and... yeah, I think I'm going to get more experience here as well. So once you get one of the bottom tier perks, you can actually start getting top tier or higher, the next tier up of perks, which is really nice, so you don't have to like max out a skill before you can go up to the next one. I need to chop down 2 more trees. And trees can hurt you as they fall on you, so you want to be very careful about that. Okay. We are weighed down quite a lot. We're probably going to have to cut down more trees for this particular house. Because, yeah, we have a lot of sticks. You do get sticks from cutting down trees. But honestly, if you need a lot of sticks, it's better just to gather them from, like, the little shrubbery. low on stamina, so my guy is huffing and puffing. I'll chop down some more trees, so that way I can get all of the logs that I need. I think only 2 more trees is probably all I need. Okay, this is actually really good. We have the woodshed unlocked. Can I turn off Steam notifications? Okay, that should fix the Steam notifications. It just took a little bit because I don't know much about Steam. I'm not very good at it, but that's okay. I just use it to buy games and then play them. Yeah, so it's getting late, so that's just letting us know that we are gonna need to sleep soon. Appears I was wrong. I'm gonna need to cut down 1 more tree. I'm gonna cut down this nice maple. Normally, I don't really have access to maple trees because the mountains are just filled with the pine trees. Or spruce, as the game calls them. But when you do have them, I highly recommend taking advantage of them. We need a lot of sticks. I hope you guys like building because I'm gonna be building a lot. That is probably 50% of the game. Probably 50% of the game is building. The other 50% is collecting. Oh, there's actually like a 10% in there of like ordering people around, so there is that too. And I am 1 log short. Oh, never mind. A couple logs short, so I'm gonna cut down another maple tree. And then our quest is telling us we need to get some straw, so I'm going to show you where we can get that straw as soon as I finish this. As soon as I finish the walls. So here we go. Bam. Bam. Don't tell me I am actually 1. I am 1 log. Darn. Really? That is frustrating. Well, I don't need 4, and having 4 might honestly weigh me down a little bit, so I'm just going to grab the spruce tree for the 3. Starting to get kind of dark. You can basically work through the night. Like, you don't really need to sleep, but I do like sleeping when possible, unless I'm working on like a very time-sensitive thing. I do like sleeping just because it will speed the seasons along, and your workers are not going to work through the night. They only work during the day. So, you know, again, unless you're really working on something time-sensitive, staying up through the night means you're the only one working on something, which honestly is not... I don't like being the only one working on something. I like having a lot more going on in my village. Okay, so right now we're on our way to get straw, and straw is found in water, or along the edge of water, but it's not found in like shallow water too much. There are some places where there's some shallow water and you can find it. It's mostly found kind of along here in the deeper water, and this is actually what we want. So it looks like reeds, it is reeds. Apparently you just dry them and it turns into straw. It can be a little confusing because you'll see some non-reads, which are some cattails. And really, they can be confusing because you'll think that that's what you need, but it's not. So you want to avoid cattails. And there's a lot of like tutorials being thrown in your face right now, so. Okay, I think that's probably enough. We have 57 right now. We only needed to collect 36. 36 was probably enough for the house, which is probably why it said 36. But I went a little bit overkill. You actually use straw for a lot of things, especially later on, so we're probably going to have a villager collecting it. What's really nice is that when you have a villager collecting something, they don't actually take it out of the world, so there's an unlimited supply when they're collecting something, which is why you really, if you need something, it's best to have villagers collecting it. But this is kind of where you need to know ahead of time what you're going to need, because by the time you need straw, you probably don't want to wait around for your villagers to collect it for you. So you'd probably want your villagers collecting straw before you actually need it. So we are almost done with this house. Just going to put these finishing touches. I do like that you can actually see the house being built as you do it, and that you do it in segments. Okay, great. So now we have a bed, so we can actually sleep until the next day. Beautiful. Okay, so Unigost's story means we can go talk to Dobroniga and do what he wants. I am going to be entirely honest. The main story, Unigost's story, is 80-90% of him telling you about your uncle, which I am not a huge fan of that type of storytelling. I feel like when you're going through like a story, you should live through it, especially in video games. Like that's one of the benefits of video games. So I really feel like it's a weak point of the game, the fact that for most of the story you're just sitting here listening to your uncle. And it does get interesting like the last couple segments. And I am going to go through and read this for you so that you can actually listen to the stories yourself. But honestly, when I play by myself, I just skip the stories. Because it's really so boring. It's so boring. So a lot of the other quests, like the side quests, are actually a lot more interesting because you're actually doing things and experiencing a story in real time instead of hearing. And then this is the other thing too, is it's not your story, it's your uncle's story. And I'm sorry, but like I am far more interested in my story than the story of someone that I'm never even gonna meet because he's already dead. So let's see. I'm just going to store some of this so that way I'm not weighed down too much. Bam. Okay. And I have leveled up quite a bit, so let's see what we can get. This is slower, destroying structures. This one's actually really good when you have to destroy structures later on, but right now it might not be the best for us. But we do want something in the second tier, so I'm going to go ahead and grab it. And we actually have another perk. So let's go. 500% might have been a little bit too much experience, but I don't want to sit here doing the same things too much. So I do really like Mule, because that just gives you more carry weight, and more carry weight is gold. So we can do this for 20% more Dynasty Reputation points, or 10% more Affection points gained while flirting. So here's the thing. Flirting, I mean, this perk is nice early game, but once you marry someone, you don't have to flirt with anybody anymore, and this becomes useless. So I'm not really going to grab that, as tempting as it is. 5% more experience gained from diplomacy is great, but I think I'm gonna get 20% more dynasty reputation points gained. Just because I really want those points. Strong as an oak is 10% more health. I think that's probably, yeah. Yeah, that's best, I think. And then we have Water Dancer, Headstrong, or Survivalist. Survivalist is good because you don't have to eat or drink as much, but it only affects you, not your villagers. Because your villagers, you have to supply food and water for them as well. So I think I'll get Water Dancer for now, just because I have to move around so much, and I want to be able to move fast. So these all give more experience depending on what you're crafting. And honestly, I'm probably mostly going to be doing workshop and smithy or cooking. But we're not going to have a kitchen for a while, so I'm going to go with this one. And then if we come to technology, so as you level up things, you'll be able to build stuff. So these are actually parts of our village, things that we are able to build for our villagers, so that's really good. We don't have much survival yet, but we will want to set up a hunting lodge ASAP. We don't have a food storage yet, so we're going to want to farm as soon as possible. Luckily, we can get these things really quickly. And then, of course, we're going to want that workshop as soon as possible. I actually get the kitchen earlier than I thought. It's interesting. But yeah, I'd say right now, our number one goals are, well, actually everything that we've unlocked is super important. Resource storage is going to let us store a lot of things, a lot more than our little chest in our house gives us. Woodshed is good because we're going to actually be able to we're going to have villagers chop down wood for us. And then over here, we have the hunting lodge, which is also really good because that's going to be for food and like leather and stuff like that. So right now, chapter 2, the survivalist is saying we want to set a trap and catch a rabbit. So if we check the map, we should be able to, let's see, it should actually, have we not discovered anything yet? Okay, we have. Okay. So we just go to the left to see the wild animals. So what we're looking for is a place with rabbits, which, oh, right here, there's a rabbit icon. So they're actually right by our house. So that's great. So we're gonna need to craft a wooden spear and a stone knife. I put all of my stones up because I am dumb. But that's okay because luckily, there's so many stones here. This is really great. Okay. So I'm going to build a knife first. So what the fast crafting does, what I set up in the beginning, is see how you take a time to craft one item. If you're crafting multiple items, it'll only have that one timer. But if you don't have fast crafting and you craft that stack of items, it'll have that little timer for each item. So we want a wooden spear. That means we need a log. Instead of cutting down another tree, which I could do, I have a log that I put in storage, so I'm going to grab one. Okay. And here we go. And then we need to hunt a wild animal and set a trap, a rabbit trap. So let's see. I believe, turn decorations, traps, rabbit trap. Oh, we have just enough stones. So I'm gonna put it right here. There we go. And are you going in it already? No, I couldn't be that lucky. But there will be one that goes inside it eventually. Rabbits are actually really good for a first hunting animal, so we probably are going to want to hunt one of them, but I don't know if it counts if we wait for them to get in the trap. So I am going to murder you. Oh, shoot. Okay, I forgot that I can throw those. And then I'll skin it. Alright, and at this point, we only have to survive for a season, so... yeah, that should be pretty easy. We have a trap set up, we're able to hunt now. So... I think this is probably a good place to stop for now. Yeah, I think this is a great place to stop for the first video. We made a house, we did our first hunt, we got a trap set up, and we introduced ourselves to the valley. So on the next episode, we are going to go on the hunt for a wife. Yeah, so that'll be exciting. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did, and hopefully I get to see you all again. What a nice view.